everyone. Welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at the Son of Neptune, chapter, 37, and starting Piercy's story. So in this chapter, it starts off with Piercy not being happy. He's in the air. As a son of Neptune or Poseidon, air travel is not good for him. And he's actually really afraid Zeus or Jupiter will shoot a lightning bolt and blast him out of the sky. So every time the airplane, woo, Piercy feels really scared and freaked out. But they're in the airplane, they're in the air, and Frank is looking sad, because he feels like he failed, which we saw last chapter. But Piercy feels like he did a pretty decent job. But he also kind of feels like, man, I'd be crying too if I saw my home blown up and my grandma might be dead. But Hazel is comforting Frank and telling him he did a good job. Piercy telling him he did a good job too. And Piercy even says, hey, look, man, I am proud I'm related to you. And Frank was like, really? Like, he just kind of felt happy. And then Piercy was also like, man, Hazel's really cool. Hazel's the youngest member of this team, but she's just keeping us together, encouraging us, especially Frank, and, being a rock, which she wasn't just a while ago, but I guess now she is. And so Piercy's pretty impressed with Hazel. In the plane, they start to tell each other about everything that's going on. Frank talks about the piece of wood and how he gave it to Hazel. Piercy talks about him being from Greek camp, from Camp Half-Blood. And, they start to share I think Juno is trying to bring the camps together. And they just talk about how dangerous that might be, but how good it could be too. And this kind of update each other on all their thoughts and ideas. And Piercy says something really funny, or really unique, really. But he says, guys, I hope you can trust me. You know what? Maybe Hazel says this, but I think it's Piercy. But he's like, but I trust you guys, and I don't mind if you know that I'm Greek, because you're like family. And so even though they've been just on this short journey together for just a few days, already Piercy and Hazel and Frank, they're like, we're family, we're close together, and I trust you with my life. And that kind of makes everyone feel pretty good. And then Piercy says, hey, look, I better get some sleep because I need to contact my friends through my dreams. And so this is pretty crazy. I don't think Piercy's done this before, but he's sleeping. And as he's sleeping, he dreams of the mansion of Frank's grandma. And he sees this giant cyclopes with one eye and this huge black dog. And we learn that that's Piercy's half-brother, or his brother, we say in here, but it's his half-brother. And Piercy tries to yell out in his dream, Tyson! And that's the cyclope's name. Tyson, can you hear me? And Tyson's like, brother? Brother! Where are you, brother? And Piercy talks to him and says, hey, I'm alive, I'm okay, I'm heading to Alaska. I need you to find this harpy, protect her, take her to California and meet me there. Let Annabeth know. And then his dream fades. And the next phase of his dream, he's looking at New Rome. And he can see the army of Polybides. And Polybides summons one of the snack lady snakes, you remember from the beginning? The one that's like, do you want a snack? A sample, I think she says. Do you want a sample? That snake was so funny. What's Sethno? I'm not too sure. But Polybides calls for her and he says, are we ready to attack? And she's like, oh no, the other cyclopes, the bad ones, they went on a wine tour. And he's like, what? Looks around and he sees a big part of his army is missing. He gets angry, but he's like, okay, well, we're just going to wait here and we're going to camp here. Ask any news on the Amazonians. No news. But the snake lady's like, don't worry, Arthurira is going to be able to defeat her eventually. And he's like, okay, well, what about the Haploids? What's going on? And she's like, oh, we got a report that they're headed to Alaska, and they'll probably die there. And then Palabody says, oh, Alcyonus, he better not kill the Son of Neptune. I want the Son of Neptune. He promised me the Son of Neptune. I want him in chains at my feet. And he wants to kill Percy at the Mount Olympus and let his blood wake up Gaia or something like that. And then Percy wakes up and they're in Alaska. Vocabulary here. First one is shedding a few tears. This is shedding means to like take something off. A snake sheds its skin. Let me think. Other animals, when they take off their skin, we call it shedding. Oh, when a dog, in the summertime, a dog will lose a lot of its hair. We call that shedding. And we use this same expression for tears, right? Especially for guys, right? We don't say, oh, he's crying, which he could be, but we say shed a few tears, right? 1, 2, 3. And that just sounds a little bit more manly. And so Percy tells, when he looks at Frank, he's like, man, it's okay. To himself, he says that you're shedding a few tears. Fend it off. Fend is like defend, protect, keep away. So I'm trying to think of maybe like your dad, you're going camping, and maybe there's some mosquitoes. You're young, you're trying to go to sleep. Your mom, she's tired, she's going to sleep, but your dad is trying to fend off the mosquitoes and keep them away from the tent or the trailer or whatever. He's kind of protecting, keeping away. And Frank fended off the Lycurgonians. He pushed them back and kept everyone safe. Luminescent means glowing or having your own light. Hazel's eyes are gold and they're kind of glowy. And Percy's just like, whoa. Turbulence, I think we've had this one in the last book, but that's just when the plane is flying and the wind knocks the plane up or down. When there's really strong winds, the plane has turbulence and everyone's like, whoa, on the airplane freaking out. I think this might be the last one, ulcer. An ulcer is, I believe, okay, I'm not a doctor, you could look this up, but I believe it's a damaged part in your body, usually your stomach, of where there's like a cut or opening. And this can happen from like stress or eating like too spicy food. If you eat spicy food that's really, really spicy, maybe your stomach gets a little hurt on the inside. And if you could see inside, there might be a red spot in there. And maybe even it's bleeding a little bit. And we call that an ulcer, I believe. And Palabody says, that Cyclops woman, Ma something, she's going to give me an ulcer because she's just causing Palabody so much stress and trouble. Inlet. Okay, there's one more. And you know what? Let me draw this one out here real fast. If we imagine the ocean, okay, here is a piece of land, all right, and here is the ocean, okay, coming in. This area right here, this is an inlet. It's kind of the part that the ocean comes into very easily. The other parts, their other name, maybe peninsula or something. No, not a peninsula. I'm not too sure. But an inlet is definitely this part here where the ocean can come in closer to the mountain. These are some trees here. Not mountain, closer to the land. And so as they're flying down into Alaska, they can see the line of the ocean, but it kind of comes in, and they can see an inlet there. I think that is the last vocabulary word. Yes. So, discussion question I have for you. Have you ever had a friend that felt like family? Now, for like an army kind of member or something like that, they really kind of feel a lot like family because they might die if they don't trust the other person. But, Piercy just feels like, man, Hazel, Frank, you're such good people, and I love hanging out with you, and I trust you so much. You're like my family. Have you ever had a friend like that? That you're just so close to? You're like, that's like my brother. That's like my sister. Maybe it could even be like an aunt or uncle or something. But it's a friend, but they just feel so close, like family. Of course, please make your own discussion question. That's all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.